was there a tweet from you the other week about that Leo Gregory's character should, something should have happened with him?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing to come out of Green Street was the Bovver character.
Yeah.
Without that, Leo's a great actor anyway, which is why we used him in Top Dog. And we've been talking about the potential for doing a proper sequel to Green Street, not a Green Street 2 or none of that shit that they tried to churn it. And so I wrote a script. Me and Leo talked about it a lot. We started to get in touch with the other cast members, Geoff Bell, who played Tommy Hatcher.
Oh yeah,
those people, and they all wanted to do it. And so we went to Lionsgate, who were really keen, who produced, the distributors. Everyone was keen on it, and the Americans wouldn't let us do it. They just said no. And it was a real shame. No, they don't have to give you a reason. They just said no, we don't want to do it. It's like, but said to them, we don't even want you. I don't particularly want you involved. In effect, all it is you're getting free money. You haven't got to do anything. And but they just said no, and it was a real shame because it was a great script. Everyone wanted to do it. There's certainly an audience for it, I think.
Definitely.
And it's never going to happen. It's a real shame. Not least because you've got a load of actors. It's jobs for people. As much as anything.
Exactly.
So,
I was looking last night, and I think the last football film, which wasn't really a football film, was The Governors back in 2014. There hasn't been anything since, and that was more of a revenge plot. Hoodies.
It's that's one of the things a lot of people who go into these kind of movies tend to forget. You need a story. It's not as simple as group of blokes go here, have a fight, and come home. It's nothing like that.
Fight scene.
Yeah, you can do that in any town on any Saturday night. You do that, but you need a story to drive everything along. And Green Street was it was an obvious story because you needed. How else are you going to parachute an American in? There's only one way you can do it. It's got to be a journalist.
Very true.
But the original idea was to do it was supposed to be the British Fight Club. That's what we wanted to do from day one. That had always been a discussion, and it changed once the producers came on board. The fact they were all women didn't help at all because they didn't get it. It wasn't just about they didn't get football. Half of them didn't even get blood.
Yeah, when you just have women involved, and it's not to be chauvinistic or anything, but it's a very it's what males do.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the. It's quite a prime football. I've been looking back over some of the old photos and videos from the 80s lately, 70s and 80s, and it's a very primal. It was a very primal experience being going to football in them days. But that was one of the big attractions, and that's something that's missing. It's like when we used to have all these discussions in the media about hooliganism and casuals and all that sort of crap. One of the things, and Cass made the point in one interview, but one of the things that everyone missed is the reason we did it is because it was fucking good fun. It was absolute blast. It wasn't necessarily about going somewhere and having a row. It was just every day was an adventure, and sometimes you had a row, sometimes you came out on top. Sometimes you got battered. Sometimes you had a laugh. Sometimes you bumped into a group of Leeds lads in a pub and had a right laugh of them. And that's how it was. And it was the never knowing what was around the corner, never knowing what was in the next pub, never knowing what was at the motorway services. It was that adventure and the secrecy surrounding all that. This like kind of secret little world we were all in. That was action. That's why we did it. It was nothing political. It wasn't to do with, it wasn't a social thing. It's all, a reflection of society. We wanted to win our game back. We were rebelling against Thatcher's Britain. What are the bollocks? Just a load of blokes having a laugh every Saturday watching football. That's what it was all about. And they missed it. And if we do see another football film, which I doubt we will, to be honest, unless it's a retro one.
Right. Yeah.
Which would bring its own difficulties. I mean, where you've got to have the clothes, you've got to have all that sort of stuff. I don't know how you're going to recapture that period in time, because it was a phenomenal period in time.